here and Adam Nunes from Fast Track Riders, and joining us none other than the Eric Bostrom along with Janelle Spilker. And most of you already know Eric. If not everyone, no one needs any introduction to Eric. Multi-time championship in AMA, and also cycling and road racing in every aspect. And then, you know, just as a person, extraordinaire. Janelle is a world-class cyclist, and between the two of them, they kind of worked on someone even like me and kind of made me a decent cyclist. So, you know, what these guys can do together is amazing. And, you know, so here we want to share them with you today to allow us to get ready for the next time that we go to Fast Track, and we're going to be on the track. So let's all be ready and make sure that we don't feel like we're going to be out of shape or not fit. So we have the Fitness 5 that Eric and Janelle designed specifically for us, and I would let Eric and Janelle take it from here. But most importantly, welcome them, and thank you so much for taking the time to help us out and to get us all back in shape.
Yeah, thanks, Eric.
Right. Hey, crew. We miss y'all. Looking forward to getting back to the track, spin some laps, getting back to the social, the laughs. We are going to try to return to the track fitter and faster. So this is the 5 exercises to get fitter and faster. We're going to kind of augment the aerobic conditioning that I hope many of you are working on. If Janelle, with the introduction here, we want to return with a goal. So this particular, and that goal is many different things. It can be specifics on the racetrack. This specific goal is, how am I going to return fitter than I was? Because the reality is, the more we can move on a motorcycle, the easier it is. We limit our risk to injury. It's putting all the puzzle pieces together. So with that, a lot of us think, okay, we're going to do a workout. We're here to do a workout today, and it's for strength, right? Yes, it is, but it's also for mobility and stamina. So we want to increase our kind of engine in a sense, and not just the aerobic system, but also our strength and mobility. So we're going to focus on some exercises that do that. And then after we're done working out, we're going to talk about working in, which is kind of a foreign subject for a lot of people. It's like, hey, I've worked out, I'm done, right? Not for optimal results, right? We want to be able to take care of our soft tissue and nervous system. So we'll do a little recovery work with the backmate equipment, and it's kind of exciting. All that stuff is live on, or it's up live on the site. So we'll share a discount code and an email letter to kind of get everyone is fitter and faster returning to Fast Track. So with that, I think we're ready to start our first exercise.
All right, sounds good. And I just wanted to add one thing to what Eric said. In terms of returning to the track fit, something that strength does for us, it makes us more resilient. It makes that we're not looking necessarily for strength about how much we can lift. It makes us stronger in terms of what we can withstand on when we're on a motorcycle. And as Eric mentioned, you want to work in some aerobic training to your week. We think a good place to start is 3 times a week for at least 30 minutes, and you can increase that as you're able to, whether it's walking, hiking, running. For us, it's riding a bicycle usually. What we're going to show you will be something that you can do as soon as you get home from one of those aerobic activities, or something that you can do in addition, maybe 2 times a week or 3 times a week.
All right, let's start it off.
Okay.
This is one of my favorites. You want to grab the camera? One of my favorites is the Plyometric Leaps, and this one you want to warm up to in a sense because you can potentially get injured. But one thing about staying fit is, you know, we see riders crash on TV at professional level, and they very rarely get injured. One of the things is because they're in such good shape. So my Plyometric Leaps, I can pick any structure, potentially even stairs, and pick your height. Like I would start off with like maybe 2 of these if you have something shorter, because this is one of my favorite moves. I go for something higher. It's great for strength work, and also hormone. So for when you do powerful work, it boosts your testosterone, kind of helps balance your hormones. You'll sleep better. So it's a really important exercise from a lot of different levels. And so what I'll do is I'll stand back. The better I get, the more I stand back, the more core I add into it. And so it's a leap like that and a step down. I can go closer if I want. A leap and a step down. And so I will do about 32 of these and then move on to the next exercise. Strange how I came up with 32. But if you really want to add core, you can get way back and throw yourself at it. And it's just one, and then two, and then three, and you'll quickly start feeling your heart rate start to rise. Really a fun exercise, but again, one that you want to start fairly slow. Already my heart is climbing, feels really good. This one you will feel in your core, you'll feel in your glutes, you'll feel in your legs. So really dynamic exercise.
And Eric, just a question here. So the key thing is to get your heart rate up, not to take too many breaks in between. So once you do it, just continuously keep on adding to it. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. You want to take that one?
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about how to build this into an overall workout later. But as Eric said, like when I first started doing jumps, I would do 15 to 20 and then move on to another exercise.
Okay.
And we like to do our exercises in supersets. So the other 4 exercises that we'll show you, you'll be able to superset with the jumps. We're going to go on to
plank core. Sorry.
That's right. So the next exercise is something that you've probably seen before. It is so versatile and it works the whole body. The focus is on core, but you're using practically every muscle in your body to do this. And we're going to add a little bit of core specific work to the plank. And I'll give a demonstration. So the whole idea of the plank is to hold yourself in this position. You can also start with planks on your elbows, but for the exercise that we do, we want to be off of the ground a little further. And then with one leg, with your whole core tight, bring your leg to the opposite knee or the outside, then into the middle, then out to the side. And then switch. Go outside, middle, outside. And switch off. And I would do this exercise. You could have your phone in front of you with a timer. You could do it for a certain number, or you could do it for a certain amount of time.
Also, as you can see, it's kind of working on the back muscles and the lats. So it's really important. Like this one's going to kind of mimic some of that braking force that we get on a motorcycle. But most importantly, a big effort from the core, which is where we ride the motorcycle from.
Hey, would it be helpful to have to wear knee pucks on that one? Could it help a little bit?
Any of these exercises in leathers would be even more challenging, that's for sure.
Awesome.
So while we're on the mat, I want to show everybody another exercise that really focuses on core strength. The reason that we added this to the list of exercises was that feeling when you are going into a corner and you are braking hard for the corner, and you have to stabilize your body and be very strong. So the next one is a move that comes out of the yoga practice. It's almost like a modified push-up where you're going to focus on keeping your elbows in towards the body and lowering yourself down slowly. And I'm going to add a little advanced move into it so that it also works on mobility, because as Eric said, not only do we want to have aerobic health, aerobic fitness and strength, but we want to have mobility. So we're going to add a little bit of movement into this yoga push-up, which is called Chaturanga. So I'm going to step to the bottom of my mat and get into a plank position. And then with my elbows in, lower myself very slowly. And right before I touch the ground, scoop up into Cobra, gentle back stretch, And then from here, if you want to, you can go into downward dog and then come back into plank. And again, Chaturanga, Cobra. And the other position you could push up into is just onto all fours, do a cat cow, and then back into plank, Chaturanga. Keep those elbows in, then push up to Cobra, and so on. All right.
Okay.
So again, that one I always feel in my triceps, which is a unique feeling I think on the motorcycle when you're braking hard and you need your core strength, but also your arm and shoulder strength.
I think Adamar will just stay down and will not come back up.
So maybe just do one.
Yeah. I like the conversion that it allowed you to go dip all the way down and then back up. That was made it a little bit easier for me.
So for the next exercise, Eric and I are putting on these stretchy resistance bands. We got them on Amazon. I think they come in sets, you know, I mean, for like $8, you can get a set of 5 or 4.
It's a no-brainer.
It's awesome. These are so useful to have around. So something that a lot of people don't think about is basic glute strength and glute activation. Really powerful muscle, and one that we have to kind of separate out and work on. It's really helpful for the motorcycle and for a lot of exercise. It's also really helpful for maintaining good low back health. A lot of us with low back pain have weak glutes, and so this is a great way to build strength and maintain strength. So when you put on these resistance bands, put them just above the knee, and through the whole exercise, the band's gonna wanna pull you in, and you're gonna wanna force your knees out. And then you're gonna get into, we're gonna add weights to this, and we can look at Eric's, the front view, and I'll turn to the side. So what you wanna do is kind of tail tuck, get into like a good, what would be a good squat position. Hold the weight close to your chest. And then with your knees pointing or forcing out, the band out, you're gonna step away and step in.
All the time forcing your knees out.
And I'm gonna let Eric continue to demonstrate, and I'll videotape as he walks. And we typically will do 10 or 15 steps in one direction, and then come back with 10 or 15 steps in the other direction.
This is great for the hip plateau if you are suffering from low back pain or anything like that. The strength there is very, very important. Also, this is strengthening some muscles in the front of the hips as well, like the TFL and the front hip abductors.
And
where are you feeling the pain? Sorry,
Go ahead.
Janelle.
Go ahead,
Great
Ron.
question. Majority you'll feel in your glute, but you'll feel all the way into the glute minimus and medius, which is kind of out along this side, and you'll also feel it all the way down into your hamstring. Of course, we're also getting a little bit of a quad workout as well. So you're going to feel it across really everything between your knees, all the way to your lower back.
And then we add another modification to this. So this is the side to side, but we also want to be able to walk it forward and walk it back. And to really engage those glutes, we want to walk at a little bit of an angle. So I'll try to demonstrate this one. So again, in that nice like pre-squat position with core tight, shoulders back, you're going to step out to the side and in, out to the side, and all the time getting those knees to go out, resisting the temptation to let your knees cave in. And you really will feel that. And then walk it back. So back, and again, all the steps are out. All the steps are back into the side. You told me you couldn't dance.
This also helps you in dancing, right, guys?
Hey, let's keep it an exercise video, guys. And by the way, I got a question here. Can a bicycle inner tube work as a band?
Say that again?
A bicycle tube to work as a
Oh,
band.
that's a great idea.
It is. I mean, you'd probably want to find it wouldn't be
smaller
a very robust tube. So maybe a road bike tube might be better than a heavy duty mountain bike tube.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Good for a flat tube that, don't throw it away. Use it, make it into a resistance band.
Good thinking on the feet there.
Then the last exercise we were going to demonstrate was some basic ab work. So we have a fitness ball. You can do this without it, but it is really nice to have one of these. So you'll just sit on the ball, walk it out, and then do basic ab crunches. So you can go center, you can go to the side, and you can do these. You could do them in other ways too, but this is the basic core work on abs. Another favorite one that I like to do with the ball. It's almost like if you've ever heard of a dead bug. So you lie on a mat and have the ball in between your knees and your arms. And then what you're gonna do is get your lower back imprinted on the mat so that you don't have the curve of your back. You know, the arch. You wanna really force that curve of the back down to the mat. And
the
then
lumbar spine pressing against the mat.
And it really engages your core already. Like I already feel it. And then opposite hand and foot down and out.
It's like the more still you can leave the ball, the better you're doing.
That's right.
The most important thing is pressing that back into the ground. That's gonna really make the core work, and that's kind of the trick to this exercise. Make sure you don't arch your back while you're doing it. There's no reason we can't return to the track faster than or achieve our goals when we go back. And I always say faster than because that's usually one of my goals, But that doesn't have to be your goal. It's just I've seen riders leave a track and a year later come back and testing, and within the first 4 laps they've eclipsed the track record before, and that's a true story. So so there's no reason.
The name was Eric Bostrom.
Actually, unfortunately not, but that's okay. It was Mladen at Road Atlanta, and I think he intimidated us all pretty good with that. So.
Yeah.
Because no one touched that lap time for the rest of the week except him. All right. So
absolutely. To your point, Eric, I think when you're when you're physically fit, it just allows you to be mentally focused. And we talked about that in the last episode when we did last week. So really the key thing is when you get back to fitness, it doesn't necessarily translate specifically to a particular corner on the track. It's more along the lines that allows you to stay focused throughout when you're riding. And that's the whole point. The whole point is to have people ride longer, more focused, and not get tired.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And if you tuned into the meeting there, Josh Hayes and Jeremy Toy were really kind of honing in on that, which is how tough can your mind be? If your body tires, your mind will quickly follow, if not fail before your body. But if your body's tough, you can typically be tough in the mind, and then that carries you forward. So it's really, really important to have this base of exercise or base of fitness and strength, so that when you get on the bike, you feel just fluid. Like I can typically be surf the saddle and put my weight exactly where I want it because of my level of fitness. So that's where I want to be. If I'm cheating any of those moves, there's a very good chance that, well, at a high speed, I will crash the bike because that little extra movement will upset the bike on the front, the contact patch, and I'll end up sliding across the ground going, I know exactly what I did wrong. So,
yeah.
Sorry?
We don't want to be lazy on the bike. That's the whole point, right? We don't want to be lazy when, absolutely.
That's exactly it. Nailed it.
Hey, by the way, getting some viewers here saying hello. I think you guys all know Gigi as well. Saying hi to Janelle and Evaz.
Hi, Wawa.
And I want to just throw in a quick comment. You know, judging from your backyard there, it looks like you guys do a lot of workouts back there because I see a lot of berms. You know, especially on that.
With the shovel and pick and yeah, but
you have to keep moving that mat around because you've been working that area too much.
That's right. That's right. If I could have shown you Eric's favorite jumping area, you would have seen his 2 feet print.
Burned in.
Grass. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that
Serious.
exercise that you did just a moment ago, there was a big berm, the one that you were jumping up on the log. I could tell you that you were doing that a lot more than 32 times.
Usually I go for 100. That's kind of my thing.
Which is a lot. And you know, we were talking earlier about how do you turn this into an overall workout. So the way that I've always done workouts is I like to mix exercise together, superset them. So with the 5 exercises that we demonstrated, the jumps, the plank, the chaturanga, the glutes, the glute walks, and the abs, I would probably take 3, the jumps, chaturanga, and glutes, and do those in that order. So do, for instance, 20 jumps, chaturanga 5 or 10 times, and then glutes, 20 in one direction, 20 in the other, 20 forward, 20 backward. And then repeat that 3 times. Then I would do the plank, and then both ab exercises, plank, both ab exercises, plank, both ab exercises. And you should be able to do this kind of work in 30 minutes or less. It really doesn't, it's not like you have to create a home gym and then do this like 60-minute strength workout, not by any means. You can do this 2 or 3 times a week and have huge gains in 30 minutes or less for each session. Yeah, and then I know Eric really wanted to talk about what you do is after you're done with these workouts.
Taking care of the body. So the exercise bands,
I'm sorry,
ball. Sorry.
Sorry, one last question. So just for the audience, for everybody who's listening. So when you're doing this in 20, 30 minutes, do you feel like you're going quickly 1 to 1 to 1 where your heart rate is going up? So now you're not only getting the physical strength, but also you're getting some cardio along the way, or just so that everybody's clear of how to tackle it, what speed, right?
I would, you know, the jumps are probably going to be the hardest on the heart rate. And that's why I would do jumps and then a core work like the chaturanga, and then go back to glutes and then go back to jumps. So your heart rate will spike with the jumps, and then it'll start to calm down a little bit. You'll still feel the workout. I pretty much never rest more than 60 seconds in between each round of 3.
Yeah, and with Janelle's stacking, I will oftentimes, you know, just put one exercise between the jumps so that the heart rate stays very high and that effort. And then it's kind of nice to get that one out of the way because it's pretty strenuous. Yeah. And then you go into the chaturanga, which is a great way of stretching after doing a very strenuous plyometric workout.
And you guys said twice per week, right? That's one of the questions here on the
3 times.
On the audience.
I would start with twice a week and then go to 3 times a week. Yeah. I mean, what else do we have to do right now? Exactly. I'm kidding, but.
Okay, then we will follow it up with recovery, which is, if you're not doing this, you're missing the boat. And it's more and more important as we age. Essentially what we're doing here is taking care of the soft tissue and the nervous system. We can make a tremendous difference in our kind of getting our body into a restorative state and healing. The flip side, of course, is beating your body into the ground with a hard workout and then, you know, going and drinking a beer afterwards. It's really not ideal. We want to take care of our body. It doesn't take much time. That's the coolest thing about it. We can get through we can get through, let's say, the legs in less than 5 minutes. So when I'm dealing with, you know, like the power roller here, I'm going to, I'll put it as 5 speeds. I want to, on the bigger muscles, I can go very high speed. On the smaller muscles, I can run a little bit lower speed. But essentially I want to take about 3 passes on the muscle belly, and that is enough. So I will roll roughly the for 3 passes, and then I'll move on. So that would be done by laying on it and then doing, that's 1, 2, and 3, about 3-inch movements. So really remember that number 3 is 3-inch movement and about 3 passes. And I can work all the way in to the adductor there.
So you can work your way around the muscles like adductor, quads, IT band on the outside.
Great, yeah, great way to do, you know, like not only for loosening the glutes after that tough glute workout, but also freeing up for low back pain is getting kind of out here towards the outside of the hip there, the glute.
This is one of the best ones. You can almost do this one any way that you want to, like just sit on the power roller. It's incredible on the glutes. Like it's fabulous.
So that could be watching your favorite show or whatever.
So what are we doing right now, Eric? What we're doing is we're actually massaging the muscles so we can release some of the lactic acid, or are we keeping the muscles kind of loose after you've just kind of tightened them by working hard, or just so that everyone understands?
It's a great question. And we're stimulating circulation. We're really probably the biggest thing is interacting with the nervous system. So what we're doing is we're trying to get the nervous system calmed down. Probably the best analogy is if you've ever had a cramp, you'll notice that cramp comes back to the same spot that it was. It's kind of a hyperactive response from the brain that's sending that cramp back to, let's say, the quad. So by doing this kind of work, we're kind of down-regulating the nervous system to say, hey, it's you know, there's no problem here, kind of like Obi-Wan, right? And you will let them through. And so it really does. And then the blood starts replenishing. You know, we're working the lymphatic system as well, which is really important. We're clearing out the toxins and dead cells, and then getting the nutrients in there with fresh blood and fresh lymph. So that's it's kind of a complicated puzzle, but it's just the simple side is it's work that needs to be done. If you think about the nervous system and you think about circulation, we can really improve our recovery and put the body into a restorative state where you're kind of getting into that meditation zone. So same thing.
Can I add one
Yes.
thing with this? You can, isn't something that you don't, it's not just for after workouts. If you have sore muscles, if you have muscle pain, these are great tools to use in areas where you have muscle tenderness. The vibration of the power roller has a natural painkiller effect. It's a natural analgesic. So for anyone who ever rolled 5 years ago or 10 years ago as a part of their health and wellness routine or fitness routine, I was a professional athlete and I never rolled because it's painful, it's uncomfortable. But with the vibration in the power roller, it's incredible. It's good to use whether you have pain or whether you don't. But
it really
I
does.
speak from personal experience, and it's amazing the effect and the gains that you do, because it's almost like you're doing all this workout, you're doing all the exercise. If you don't really focus on recovery, like you guys said earlier, you're missing out. Even if it's 10%, 20%, 30%, you're just throwing that away, and that could be all the difference that you need.
I would
Is that fair?
Chopping the exercise 5 minutes shorter to make sure you get this in.
Absolutely.
If whatever side it comes off of. So we have the power massager here. It's very similar that you would, take 3 passes along the muscle belly. It's kind of very easy tool to use where you can get into the TFLs or the adductor, different things. So very easy tool to use. These are also great for arm pump if you're struggling with arm pump. Again, it's really you don't have to kill yourself with it. you can take care of arm pump and radically reduce arm pump in less than a minute by more or less hitting the top of the forearm and the bottom of the forearm, kind of get circulation and well, blood and lymph flowing in that area inside the fascia, and it's just a very powerful tool. If you're struggling with arm pump, do this. It's just a no-brainer. And then the kind of the tool that is my favorite of them is, because of back injuries and whatnot, is the back mate. And this is kind of it works anywhere in the door frame. So you can use it from, plantar fascia in your feet to the gastrocs in your calves, which are really important, all the way, especially if you're dealing with back pain, all the way up to, the cervical spine and the neck. So Janelle, if you'd stand up, what I would do here is, if I could replicate a doorway, I would more or less expand it into the doorway, choose my angle, lock it into place, and then also choose the direction of the head. In this case, we'll just do a simple kind of roll on the paraspinals.
How hard can I lean back?
You can lean back pretty hard. That's sorry. But this is a great one at the track for getting in between those shoulder blades that get sore. The thoracic spine that we're doing right now is probably one of the most overlooked care parts of the body. Very few people do anything for that thoracic spine. And if you're dealing with anything from digestive issues all the way to lower back pain or neck pain, I'd probably go straight to the T-spine and focus on that area. One of my favorite moves for my neck is also this area where we would come in and you can roll this part, the trapezius, and you have a lot of small muscles in the neck, cervicapitus, and they're really, really important to just get in there and release the tension. And then if we're want to do kind of a wider range, like a little less pressure, we'd put on the round wheels, and this would be a great way to do some of those smaller, really kind of tight muscle groups. Again, the discs work really well for the paraspinals along the back. The small rollers can work anything great from doing, getting into the hips and legs, calves.
There's a ton of videos on the Backmate webpage, the Backmate YouTube channel, that shows this thing in an actual doorway, not just outside with someone holding it. So and it walks you through some of the different exercises to use for overall health and wellness.
Yeah, especially if you're dealing with any specific chronic issues, there's probably something on YouTube at My Backmate that will direct you towards overcoming that chronic issue. So
it's mybackmate.com, right? That's the website right now. You can check out all the products that Eric has come up with to kind of help people kind of feel and train like Eric and Janelle. So that's really the key thing is Eric's had many injuries over in the past, and he just doesn't want people to suffer through it. And the same thing in coaching, that we've been trying to offer a lot of coaching so that we don't have to go through all these growing pains and trial and error stuff. So look, you guys are hearing it directly from the horse's mouth. You're hearing directly how Eric and Janelle train, and that's how they do it all the time. So that's fantastic. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
Watching you guys do it just now, I'm feeling it. I'm going to go do it myself right now, because I'm a big candidate for that, for the Backmate there. So I got mine quite some time ago, and I use it quite often, specifically for that back movement that you were doing there with Janelle earlier.
Yeah, we tend to carry so much tension in the traps, and it's just a great tool for doing very little. You can adjust your pressure and get very comfortable. Huge for a long day on the motorcycle, whether it's a road ride or a day at the track. It's just that helmet puts a lot of pressure on our face, and so these muscles are tensing up back here, and if we can get in and loosen them up. Another great one is to get into the into the pec minor, which also helps pull the shoulders back. When you have a tight pec, it pulls your shoulders forward. You know, that forward rotated posture that is so devastating for our posture. So this is another great exercise to get in, kind of stretch out the pec minor.
Yeah, absolutely. And also for all the Fast Track viewers, I mean, we'll be sending out a newsletter with this video so that you can watch it over and over and kind of build on it as you see fit. But also we'll have something special from the backmate that, you know, we'll give you directions of how to place an order if you're interested. So
cool. Look forward to hearing your comments. So please write or post some comments on Fast Track Riders. And if you have any questions or want some more, we'll do another one.
I think that kit looks amazing on you, Eric. Thank you for wearing it. But just in return, Adamar, if you want to put the camera on me for a second here, here I'm gonna present here. So
yeah.
And then when I turn around, this is my favorite part. We got your back.
Oh yeah, Fast Track definitely has your back.
It has it. We got your back on that. That's one of my favorite shirts. I love it. Thank you so much, Eric.
Right.
Anything
it's
else
really
you guys would like to add? You know, Eric and Janelle, thank you guys so much. This is amazing. And like I said, we're all trying to stay fit and do whatever we can to, you know, get back to the track as quickly as possible. But also we don't want to get there and start dozing off on the first few laps.
Yeah, just
right.
remember how important exercise is for the mental side of the sport and also your mental health in general. It's so easy to caught into a downward spiral and just kind of go, I'm not doing anything, so don't worry about it. And next thing you're like kind of having trouble getting out of bed and you're a little depressed. You get outside, do a little work, and it's like all of a sudden the day opens up. So
Absolutely.
We'll look forward to seeing everyone back at the track, hopefully sooner than later. But
We can have plane competitions when we're back at the track.
Oh yeah.
We'll see who's doing their work.
The Fitness 5 by Fast Track and with Eric and Janelle. Thank you guys so much. I know you guys had to go, and every time we kept you longer than you normally wanted to stay, or you can stay. So I think we're not going to hold you back any longer. I know you got to go, but thank you so much, and we'll be sending out the information to the audience soon. And have a great rest of the day. And can't wait to see you guys at the track.
Awesome.
Always
Thanks,
a
everybody.
pleasure.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Eric. Thanks, Janelle.
Thanks, Adamar. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, bye-bye.
Is that the goodbye?